Go live. There's Cam, of course, your present sister. And yeah. Okay, I think we're live. Welcome, everybody. Here we are in Round Valley, Cobolo, Mendocino, California. Sitting under a rainbow. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We are here with our beautiful community. It's Friday at Farmers Market. And I'm gonna try and walk around. With the phone and the computer. And let y'all say hi to this Round Valley community real quick, who we're gonna be going deeper with in the next couple hours. And I'm stoked on all of you who are here joining us. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we're gonna go like this. We're gonna put the thing right there. Oh, they don't like that. I fucked it up. The iPhone too close to my laptop, it just like it overpowered it. No, I'm not trying to do that right now. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'm gonna do this. Sorry, everybody on YouTube. You're gonna sit and you can read this beautiful quote that's behind me right now. Everybody here live with me on Instagram, we're gonna take a look around and say hi to people. Okay. First, you guys get to see our table that we have here, our St. Patrick's Day pot of gold that we're sharing. This is the sweet red corn. This is the sweet red corn. Reading and working on. This is Martin Prechtel's beautiful sacred corn. And I'm going to pause here, and I would like everyone to send their loving energy to the author, who is a spiritual shaman and shared his seed words of wisdom so much of the world. Scroll over here so I can give you actually. Look at his face. Here we go. Back, I think. Sending love. Now to my team. Author of.
They're in that one. Okay, close your eyes. I'm digging in there.
What are we doing?
I'm busy up here. I'll see you. Digging in my bag. Okay. What's up? David, you look for some of the stuff. She's I didn't. No, you didn't. So now when I move the block, the things around.
I'm sorry, the connection here.
Congratulations.
I'm kind of being testy by being outside. I didn't want to have to. I didn't want to have to be in the library. I wanted to be out here with the rest of the people in the sunshine because it's a gorgeous day. So here's the book we're talking about, the parallel lives of people as plants, keeping the seeds alive, Martin Prechtel. And this is the corn. This is one with the people. And through her sharing this gift of God and custom with the community here in Round Valley. We also have not here today. You can find almost all the seeds around the library. Priceless.
I don't know what priceless.
Community here, Round Valley. So let's start to work together.
Yeah. You're one of those basket boys. Basket boy. Give me one of those basket boys. What? One of those basket boys? Yeah. You hear me talking to you on that? I think. Alright. Yeah. Always? I yeah. That's shame. Nothing. Nothing, darling little child. Very good. Yeah. Little, yeah. Sweet little virgin ears. I hope you ain't gonna try to blame me for that. I did nothing. Okay. Stop that. I said nothing. The whole time. All right. Now, did Mom ever text you back what happened? Ask for that. Yeah. Okay. I text Saul first. His phone was on the charger. That's what I thought, and that's why I was like, I'll go ahead and do it. And I was like, oh shit, he might be asleep. Might have like good day, and he might be out. And so that's why I didn't bother him. And then I was like, I better text him. Yeah, she came out. Yeah. Yeah, and then after I finally got her message, I looked at my phone and it popped up. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, it's cool. But his message came in before hers, but hers came before his. Mom, I told you my phone's stupid. Plastic one. What do you want right there? I knew, but I was. You left this plastic one in here. That's why I was like, why are you going to put in this plastic thing? She went from me crazy. I know. Yeah, Mom. We're talking to you. You didn't even look until that motorcycle went by, then you went, huh? I think I have nothing else because I couldn't throw nothing.
And this is my first time doing this, so like I don't know really how to quite interact with y'all that well. Yeah. Hi.
Need this. Need that.
Okay. I'm gonna get the screen set back up how I like it. With our book theme. There we go. I got another book, couple books here to share. And shout out to anyone who's out there. I also have my phone on me. Hi. I have my phone on me. So I'm kind of still learning how to communicate on all these different channels. If you really want to talk, you can call in, like call my number, and I can put you on speakerphone and we can talk. Otherwise, I'm really hoping some locals sit down to share some stories, some local history. I will start off with some. Oh, and then there's Lou. Hi, Lou. The live stream if you want to come sit down and chat live on camera. No pressure. No pressure. But here I am. Why don't I have a chair for my guests? Silly me. You sit in the chair.
You have to have the whole, like, cool rig with all the cameras and microphones and all that stuff.
Yep, and it's none of that. This is like ghetto. I mean, not ghetto.
No,
I'm running it through Instagram and
all.
YouTube. Thank you to StreamYard. And
That's really nice. Well, what are you doing here?
well, what we're doing here is the landrace seed project that the Round Valley Seed Library is doing. Have you heard about it? So I am the corn steward.
Okay.
And in spirit with that, this red corn over here is, hi, how are you? It's a special corn that I've been breeding with intention. It's a red sweet corn.
Uh-huh.
And then this magical white corn right here is actually from the author of this book, Martin Prechtel, who wrote.
I don't know that one.
It's an amazing book, and it inspired me so much when I read it because it's so beautifully written. It's like it's pretty much poetry, the entire thing through and through. But the subtitle here, The Parallel Lives of People as Plants, Keeping the Seeds Alive. So at Golden Fig Gardens, we're doing a monthly workshop where we get together with like the greater community at large and talk about some thoughts around regenerative agriculture. And our Pisces workshop is themed Keeping the Seeds Alive. So I'm using this opportunity, one, to share our seeds with the community. I refer to it as my pot of gold because seeds are like priceless. These were grown by Angela. Do you remember Angela, who used to be a member of me, Angela Vincent? Okay, so she actually attended some of Martin's workshops where he hands out the seeds. And then she brought those seeds here into Round Valley and grew them, shared them with the community. When she left, they were, through the handing off of the Round Valley thing, we've been stewarding the seeds. I talked to her, got her permission that she felt as well that like this was the intention Martin had, is that they be shared with love. She also informed me that Martin has recently suffered a stroke, I think, or a heart attack, and is presently like needing our prayers, so that there's a consciousness brought to him of that rainbow light energy of healing today. So those are, that's what we're doing here today.
So is this like a corn that you would grind up in a meal, or one that would you like eat corn on the cob?
It's delicious corn on the cob.
Mm-hmm.
It's super sweet. It's actually, when you pick it fresh, it's still white. It doesn't change color until later in like the drying process. So it's kind of tricky in that way. But yeah, it's a really good fresh sweet corn. And then you can tell because of like that shrivelly nature, that's what they define as the super sweet, because it's got such a high sugar content. So I don't think that that's ideal for grinding into flour because it's too sticky or sugary.
I know nothing about this, but always a
Please help yourself. Luke, could you sit down for a minute and I can just ask you a couple questions about like the local history here in Round Valley?
How about if you give me a chance to go to the bathroom and then come back because I got to take a leak.
That's
what I'm
fair,
thinking
right?
about,
That's
really.
fair.
Can you use the bags here?
Oh, go ahead and help yourself to these bags here, or yes, you
Oh,
can.
I haven't seen this.
But yeah, you can take these too.
Oh, it's the same.
What's your story here in Round Valley?
Well, I came as a trimmer in the cannabis market, like many people. But now I'm living in the old garden project.
I'm sorry, what
I
garden
live
project?
at the old garden project by Alan Chadwick in the valley.
Oh, on Alan Chadwick's property.
That's where I live.
Amazing.
And
Oh, this
is
is a gem of history in our Round Valley.
what is keeping me here. What has kept me here. I go through reflexology. This is what I'm focusing on lately.
Very cool.
But yeah, that place is why I'm still in Pomelo, let's say.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't know about that story and anything about that, but I got to know the history of the place, and I slowly realized where I was living in, and all the plants were there, all the flowers. You can just walk all over the place and find different plants and seeds and parsley growing wide all over the places. So I'm renting the place, and kind of made the owner hire me to take care of the place. So I'm basically doing some gardening after it's been left wild. I had Ruby and Diron before me did a lot of that.
Yes.
And I basically keep doing this. So
That's
how it was meant to be. Just cleaning, not doing that much, but just keeping it clean and nice, and it will be lovely spring, I believe now.
so the Chadwick property that he's referencing is a beautiful place to start, and at least for me, from my perspective, in this my history of Round Valley, because I also was invited here as a trimmigrant, and I arrived to this magical community that was like literally this utopic rebel, like in-laws and outlaws, as they say on the KYB radio.
That's funny.
When I came in, like Lou here of the Land Trust property. Hi, I'm shooting over to you real quick. And you can go ahead and sit down if you feel comfortable. I'm ready to get off camera and just kind
You
of.
want me to get another chair? I have one. There's more chairs.
Okay, sure. That I didn't think of that. Isn't that silly? I'm sorry.
Get a chair. I know where they are. They're just right inside.
The Alan Chadwick was an incredible gardener who was called into this sacred vortex of Round Valley in the 70s, correct?
Yeah, late 70s.
Late 70s. And he was very influential on that generation of back to the landers who were settling in this valley at the time. And the folks whose property I landed on, that was my home for my first few years in Round Valley with Noah. They were some of his students, Robert and John Canan. I don't know if you know the Canan brothers, but and many of the elders in this community were students of Alan Chadwick. So that's a very rich part of this. Come on, speak over a little bit more so you're here. A really rich part of this valley's history. And here's
Okay,
Lou.
here we go with the mural behind us, which when it was first put up, I went, that was so presumptuous. It does this whole story up here as if, there's some special information. But, I've gotten used to it. But I think that my response to a lot of the first blossoming when people first get here and you go, oh, this really is some kind of, utopian vision realized. And then after a while, you begin to figure out, well, no, you got to figure out how to live here. You can't just live here on hopes and dreams. You got to get practical in one sense or another. And I think that's the life challenge, really, isn't so much the vision, is how do you make that vision practical? how do you actually do this, in such a way that allows you to, I mean, most of us have chosen to participate in kind of a minimal way, how much money you're going to spend, and that, what you buy is not who you are. We got this other idea already about, we're self-realized in a sense that we're not part of the consumer culture. But at the same time, you got to pay your bills and you've got to raise your kids and, drive a car and pay insurance and all. So how do you work that? To me, that's been the challenge of the last 50 years.
You look awesome in your dad's jacket, though.
How do you make this work? That's been my interest or fascination or whatever. And I think the more that it's challenging though, because most of the systems out there don't really foster, self-reliance or even community. Most of the systems out there want to, divide us up and have us just become these consumer models, these little thing, with data mining and everything, it's just getting worse and worse and worse,
Or it's also just part of the cycle. Things get better and they get worse, and then they get better and they get worse, and that's like part of the spiral of, repetition and evolution. I mean, I feel like I came in at a really peak high of this valley's, for me, of her history. And that time was in 2009. And I arrived when there was all this amazing fundraising happening for this place to become a living reality.
Sure.
And it was happening on your land trust, which you are an incredible steward of that property. And it was like, just that alone, right? The concept of a land trust property, that multiple families who maybe had totally different, but yet same, but different visions of how,
all you need is enough of a common vision. You don't have to agree on everything, right? Just a few, points going, this is what's important. We will honor these, agreements or whatever. And then you just go do what, do your life.
These kernels of truth and everyone else, be diverse and be who you want to be free. But there was, it was just this incredible, like, wow, here I was, the in-laws and the outlaws. You have all of, like, it was a very, we went through all this transition from pot prohibition, essentially, into legalization, industrialization now. What does that look like for the small communities that were very supportive, through cannabis? And I don't know, just how the people were choosing to give back was basically the magic that I saw in this community. Was like, because as I said, I came as a immigrant, and here I was like, okay, all these people were, making their money, but then every weekend there was the big party, and it was either your guys' band playing or Marjo's band playing or some awesome local band playing that got all of like these people from around the world who were randomly filtering through this valley. And I was like, this is the middle of nowhere. And here I'm meeting just as many international people as I met when I lived on the North Shore of Kauai. That's pretty magical in that moment in time. And all these people who are now, Kauai is a place that like the richest of the rich all go. And they suck from that place. They don't live a sustainable life there, but they're making the most money because they're monetizing. And like, how
and they're probably not participating in a, on the ground. Here we are in town having potlucks,
connecting with the locals, supporting the local culture.
And that's one of the things I like about this place, because it's not really very to rich people. This is like a really good place for where the wild things are. That's how I describe it. It's rich people don't feel comfortable here. They feel threatened here because there really isn't there's no servant class here. We're all independent, and we're all in-laws and outlaws. And I that has its downsides too, because there's not a lot of money going around. But at the same time,
There's
we're
the
not
seeds,
rich
like,
people's servants, you know?
and we're sharing of the seeds. And I mean, Kauai has so many beautiful local movements happening too. Like that's just, like I said, it's my own history of those. That's my Rainbow Bridge. I came from the North Shore of Kauai into Covelo. And I saw all these parallels actually of this place as an island in the middle of the mountains, surrounded by water, by so much water, people's love of water and consciousness, and you know, of regenerative agriculture and treating the land right. Like we're all the beautiful parallels I saw between the islands in this place. But what I really, the difference I saw was like, this wasn't playing into necessarily the system, or they were redirecting it, and that all of the funds were being paid. If they weren't being paid in taxes, they were being paid in local tithes. And it was, to me, established right away, just as someone passing through, like, oh, you're passing through this place, you're enjoying it, you're making something off of it. Well, guess what? We're going to this event this weekend, and it's time to come back, give back. So don't come with your pockets empty.
Right.
And through that, like this beautiful library, the commons, you know, it's been built. Now, has it been through some horribly rough times? Like everybody in COVID.
I think we have a
and
certain resilience.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here because the seed library is like such a magical thing here in Round Valley. And saving seeds as a community, sharing seeds for free, like just that whole mental concept is huge.
No, it's really wonderful. This is a place of outstanding natural beauty. And I think people come here and they stay here because they appreciate that. You know?
Some and like fill your bag.
We're doing some kind of, I don't know what we're doing, but we're sitting here talking about stuff, right? I'm not sure.
Pretty much. That's essentially, yeah, what this new era of authentic live stream conversations is we're going to try and keep looping it back into the focus of how we can parallel the lives of plants as people and keeping the seeds alive, how we treat the seed and how we treat ourselves and how we treat our soil and how we treat our community and how these are all very interwoven.
This has always been a really good place for, what's the phrase you're using? Integrative agriculture? Regenerative agriculture. That's been a trend and a push and awareness here for at least 50 years that I'm aware of. You know, that it really is a place where people come here to do that. Partly because it's never really had much, you know, monocrop commercial agriculture go on here. It's never we've never really done that. You know, for any number of reasons. You know, it's a shorter growing season. It's far away from anywhere else, and you have to have a different orientation on what are you going to do with a career in agriculture, and you really do have to be successful.
You're doing it out of heart.
Yeah, and it works. I mean, we've seen it over and over again. It really does work.
Yeah. Yeah. Blair might be stepping over here and joining in with the conversation, who's doing it right now with, you know, Folk Life Farm,
right,
serving
she's
the
packing it up.
Packing it up, but we're going to get her to sit down.
And I think I'm going to go get Jenny and we're going to go home.
All
We've
right.
been here for a while.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah, and we're lucky to have a nice day too. It stopped raining and it's snowing away, and this was it's nice to be able to get outside.
Hi, friends. Still live streaming. I believe Monel from Gaia Spirit Farms is headed our way. And sorry for all the awkwardness of me figuring out how to juggle this. How to juggle all this. I feel kind of silly right now, but that's okay. Work it out. Work it out.
I know. I was like,
Sorry. Okay, hey everybody.
All right, I'm done.
Here's Monel. Good, Monel. Come on and take the. Well, you're just gonna sit down here because silly me only brought one chair.
Oh, well, where was Lucy?
And I want to. I'll hold the camera so you can, if you can stand. I'm just gonna talk with you if you don't mind.
Hi.
This is live. This is live.
Oh my goodness, we're live.
We're live. We're live on YouTube and Instagram. And
Oh,
this
wow.
is Monel from Gaia Spirit. Definite. OG fairy of Round Valley.
Yeah.
So that's a nice view. And
Hi.
this
So-
one's pausing. This one's running pretty steady.
Okay.
So you can just keep talking
Okay.
through it.
My name is Monel, and I have been a resident of Round Valley for coming up on 23 years. I've been coming here for about 25 years, and it's a beautiful, very beautiful place geographically, and in other ways. So I came here with my family and just found it to be a super magical place. At that time, there weren't as many people in the valley as there are now. And there aren't as many now as there were a couple of years ago because of the swaying of the cannabis industry and the legalities of it and the regulations of it. It's been very interesting to witness, and I can talk about that for a moment, just like my life with cannabis. I'm pretty familiar with it in a lot of different ways, and I did hemp activism work in the late 80s through the early 90s until the one initiative, Proposition 215, came up. And then I started collecting signatures and working with the people who were writing that. And really, I was very proactive. I had 3 small children at the time, and they went everywhere with me. We went to college campuses and set up tables and collected signatures, first of all, for industrial hemp, which is a great idea. And I look forward to seeing more of that coming to when I was, during the time that I was doing activism work for industrial hemp, that my father grew hemp for World War II in Kentucky. And he was the first person to show me a marijuana plant when I was 14 years old, my brother and I. And very secretively, he didn't announce that he was going to show us marijuana plants, but I have a feeling he knew that we already knew what it was. So we were driving in his old truck to go check someone. He said, "You kids ever see marijuana grow?" And he took us and showed us some weed. And then my family, when I was doing the activism work, they wanted to make sure that I knew what that plant was. And I assured them that I did. And since then, it's really evolved, like in my family, which has been amazing to watch. My mom and my dad and aunties and uncles and the
Are we live again? Okay, well, I think I'm with you, Instagram community. I don't know if we're back on our YouTube stream. I'll take this opportunity to share a couple more books that I brought along. Over the Rainbow Bridge. Over the Rainbow Bridge by Martin Prechtel. I like to always let you take a look at this beautiful author's face instead of mine. This is a gardener's guide to creating light-filled gardens, and this woman is absolutely amazing. She channels the fairies and the divas. Speaking of divas, I hope Blair hasn't taken off and comes over to join us and talk some story. Of course, as the beautiful Chief Seattle quote here, man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. So always think about the love or fear that we're weaving. My brother shared the most beautiful insight with me about how, you know, he starts his day, and every person, whether you actually have a physical garden to be growing in the soil or not, if you're disconnected physically, which is so many people's reality, that everybody has the garden of their mind, which is the number one garden for each of us to be tending. And by that, we need to wake up, you know, at sunrise each day and see what's growing in our garden, and are these seeds that we want to be propagating as far as thoughts, or are these things that maybe we're willing to chop and drop and let go and recycle and give back to becoming mulch for the plants, which really do bring us light, joy, good energy. And so thanks, Shawnee Boy, for that. I thought that was really insightful wisdom, and the practice that anyone everywhere can take, whether you have, as I said, whether you have the land or not, you can tend the garden of your mind with loving care as your own little inner child. There was another quote, but I didn't mark it, and so it's gone. Rio! Oh, Rio Pally! Oh, Rio! Come sit down and talk story with us. Otherwise, I will keep showing off books, which is amazing. Children's story that I super duper highly recommend for all of us children of all ages. It's just a magical story. She's an incredible author, and her art, she does the illustrations and the is there a way I can, oh, it's on both screens, look at me. Okay. Anyways, she does incredible art. And the page that I'm going to read for today, because we're 1 week away from spring equinox. And here we have it. At last it was springtime. Mother Earth opened the door, and out into the warm sunshine came a procession of beetles, ladybirds, and root children. That's my book, I can look at. We've been playing and enjoying our roots, moving our roots around during this last waning moon cycle of the fourth quarter down to the new moon. And yeah, excitedly, patiently waiting to start some more of our annuals when the moon starts waxing again. Show off another super incredible book that every human being, I think, on planet Earth should read. This book totally inspired me to write like what has become the basis of our homeschool curriculum, because it's this beautiful 13 moon repetition that keeps us in our seasons of learning, which is the name of our homeschool group here in Round Valley, a homeschool co-op of families that is always organically flowing and changing. And anyways, yeah, the kids call themselves SOL for Seasons of Learning. The curriculum that I was inspired to write, I had titled Learning with Luna. And so it's all about, the seasonal learning, being guided through the 13 moons of the year. And here's the beautiful author, Jessica Prentice. And I am so grateful for all these people who share their wisdom with the world. So I was flipping through my Learning with Luna file this morning, kind of searching for things. Camille and I had a really nice warm-up conversation yesterday, sort of as an introductory to Martin Prechtel and the work around the unlikely piece at Kuchamaki. I'm probably destroying that, saying it's terrible, but and so I was flipping through some of my Learning with Luna notes, and of course here I have more quotes from Martin Prechtel, because he's so incredible, he's so appropriate in so many levels of learning. And this, with Monel sharing her story as a mother of 3 and just the magic of this community and the love. We're not quite this level of community as described in the village that Martin describes here, but like spiritually I feel that we are. Martin Prechtel speaks of how Guatemalan tribal villages treated mother's milk. At the midwife's bidding and Ya Lore's command, I placed the little bound-up nestling into the arms of Ya Tizmai, corn silk woman, my first client as a shaman. She had been unable to have a baby, but after our ceremonies, she was nursing my own boy, who suckled milk from her breasts, brought down by the birth of her own child 2 months before. Then he was passed to the next woman, and the next, and the next. Every woman who was lactating, who wanted to bless the new mother, my wife, came to let the newborn suckle, so that he would never feel like a stranger in any compound of the village. In the minds of the Tz'ul, having suckled from the breasts of women from every clan in the village would now be related to the whole village in the deepest way possible. This was the beginning of initiation, because the Tz'ul knew that the smell of one's mother was strong, and that the sweet animal smell of all the village mothers huddled together lived in your memory, like a house on the village where you were born. Once more, this may be received and at home in your village, and welcome to come through every doorway. Adults sometimes had to stop quarrels among their peers by reminding them how they had suckled from the other's mother or grandmother. This milk giving was a peacemaking thing. And there's an amazing artist who was here at our Round Valley holiday fair, and she did these 2 pieces, which I didn't get a card from her, and anyways, I'll find out who she is to give proper credit, but I just thought this was a beautiful thing. An image to share. And I am going to cover her nipple so YouTube doesn't delete this video as being inappropriate. Heaven forbid a milking mother show her breast, but I don't know. YouTube says no, no. YouTube says no, no. Beautiful tree goddess. She's got her hair covering her breasts over there, so we're all good. Okay, here's another something I brought. I don't have her book. It's Robin Wall Kindler from Braiding Sweetgrass. And this is in reference to restoration. Restoration offers concrete means by which humans can once again enter into positive, creative relationship with the more than human world, meeting responsibilities that are simultaneously material and spiritual. It is not enough to grieve. It's not enough to just stop doing bad things. We have enjoyed the feast generously laid out for us by Mother Earth. But now the plates are empty and the dining room is a mess. It's time we start Mother Earth's kitchen. Doing dishes has gotten a bad rap, but everyone who migrates to the kitchen after a meal knows that's where the laughter happens, the good conversations, the friendship. Doing dishes, like doing restoration, forms relationships. It's Mata from Fairbanks Farms. You want to come sit and talk live? On stream to the cameras? Yeah, you do. Come on, she got this. Hi. Hi. Okay, hold on, wait. This is our Instagram live right here. Okay. Are you on there? Good? Yeah. And this is our YouTube live here, so we're going both simultaneous. Okay. And we are gathering some Round Valley herstory. So what's your story? Tell us. How'd you come to Round Valley?
How I found it? Me personally, I came to California to, like a tourist, as a tourist, to surf. And I was down there in San Diego for a while, like 3 weeks, more or less. And I was here in California ready to live the experience of the trimming and stuff. So I came to the north, to Humboldt County. And I like it, but was very, how I can say this, wild. Was very wild up in Humboldt. But yeah, very, very cool, very interesting. Was amazing. See the amount of plants and the size of the properties around, comparing it with Spain, because I'm from Spain. And I found somebody that wanted to share with me more time and knew the Round Valley from that same year in summer. So I came with him, and I remember the first night I was spent here. I drive Colo Road up to Blackview, and I slept next to the road, and I woke up at 6 in the morning. Everything frost, man, until the hair was. I was sleeping in a car. But yeah, I love it since the first moment I came here to Covelo. It's very cute town, it's small, very good. And after some months, I and I stayed here. And yeah, I start to plant veggies. I love keep learning all the time about cultivation, everything, tomatoes, peppers, okra, loofah to do your own sponge, natural sponge, how you can put together different plants like carrots and roses, and they both bloom amazingly. It's very cool. I learned a lot. I saw some beautiful lands full of amazing plants. Autochthon is a word. Autochthon, local, autochthon, local. I think it's the same, no? Autóctona, plantas autóctonas, local plants.
Native.
Native plants. And I don't know, I'm still enjoying every day learning about different plants and different ways to cultivate the veggies, how to be self-sustance. How do you say self-sustance? No.
Sufficient?
Yeah, self-sufficient. Self-sufficient. And yeah, my husband and I have an acre, so we are trying to cultivate everything that we need for the yard. We bought a very amazing machine that blow air from the freezer inside the freezer, so freeze the veggies very fast to continue eating fresh veggies during the rest of the winter. And yeah, I'm canning and preserving. It's amazing how help the people to teach you how to be more efficient and successful. So I'm very happy being here, and for sure I want to go to visit my country, but I think this is the place where I want to continue being and learning and developing everything. And it's an amazing place to have kids and raise kids in the middle of the nature with other kids different age. I like it a lot. And yeah, I don't know what to say more. I'm shy, so. But yeah, Katie and Noah are very good mentors to learn to keep seeds. No, save seeds. And yeah, I learn from very cool people.
And have you taken advantage of the seed library at all in your time in the valley?
Yes, yeah, totally. Every year when the library seeds take out their album, I check for new stuff that probably maybe I didn't grow before.
Yeah. Pat, our local librarian, what she has done with the seed library is like a priceless community resource.
Yes, totally.
And so that's part of what we're doing here today. We're part of the Landrace Seed Project that's happening here at the Round Valley Library, and I am the corn steward. So it's encouraging everyone to do some landrace gardening, which is a different form of, seed saving than a lot of like traditional gardeners and growers and seed savers are used to. I grabbed something from the book right here to read, and unfortunately I don't have which book it is. But I circled it right there on landrace. Do you want to read it? Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, for sure. A landrace is a population of crop plants that is heterogeneous. I don't go to pronounce it exactly.
Good job.
perfect.
Heterogeneous.
Several heights, color, different disease, resistance, etc. Develop under a specific set of agroecological and socioeconomic conditions. Subsistence. There is a little cat. Subsistence.
Yep.
Farmers in many developing nations and Native Americans traditions traditionally, use landrace. Every year, the weather brings a new set of farming challenge. Yeah. Whatever is too wet, whether it's too wet, too dry, too hot, too cold, too boogie, and so on. But a highly variable plant population is bound to have some individuals that yield well. The average harvest may not yield as heavily as with a uniform variety, but the landrace seldom fail and need minimal inputs. Sorry for the pronunciation.
Yeah, help yourself to end the seeds.
Yeah, very good.
I have bags here so you can just break some.
Totally, we deal with whatever weather. Every year is a surprise. This year we had a lot of snow and a lot of rain. We didn't have this amount of snow since 70 years ago, more or less. And I remember first year I was here, 2018, rain a lot for months. And I say, oh, wow, it's amazing. All the water, but everything full of water. But that spring was, wow, so bright. The spring of 2019, that spring was everything bloomed. Everything was amazing, colorful. The town was full of colors, amazing. So yeah, very grateful to be here. I hope you guys understood everything. And we will continue learning from the best. Yeah, for sure. But it's better if I will stand up from here, right?
Yeah, you can come on in. Yeah, once we
Sorry, I know my pronunciation is not the best.
It's
but
beautiful. You're
did-
amazing.
I did as much as I can. How is this beautiful thing?
Yeah, help yourself. They're all free seats.
Did you
So-
keep your seat like this?
Here we are on our YouTube channel on the screen, and then down here. Are we still here?
Hi, Julie. Sorry, I was
Oh,
talking and I
answer you.
it's like streaming or
Oh, live video ended. Okay. So we are done on Instagram, but I think we're still here on YouTube with Rio Pally. An amazing.
The turquoise.
Yeah.
Is that like Sonoran Desert?
I think that it comes from the Oaxaca green. It's probably the main influence of those, but we did some, as they call it, promiscuous pollinating with the landrace seed breeding, and that's what we came up with.
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Collecting some kernels.
I want to collect some too.
You look in the bag for me?
Why? Are we? Can you?
Rio is a cornerstone land steward in this valley, and thank you, Martin. Yeah, He planted a lot of these beautiful gardens that we are presently surrounded by, actually.
Yep.
And he's, along with Lou, who we all got to meet earlier, was a huge part of the awesome parties that are happening at the Land Trust to fundraise, to get this place to be what it is here and now, as far as our library commons, community kitchen, and cafe, and all these dreams that came true through community partying and yeah,
Early
awesome.
days.
The good old days, which everything is a cycle of repetition, and those days are coming back.
The seeds are falling. The seeds are falling.
Oh, well, it's all right. We can fix them.
I can fix it right now.
Thanks, Nova.
But I first need to get them.
Seeds are life.
A lot of the seeds are falling.
Rio is also a
They're falling.
passionate cannabis breeder. I know he loves the sacred feminine and you know, really treats the plant right. He doesn't just, he's not, I make a lot of parallels with industrialization and legalization of like how many people I felt were just pimping the land and pimping the plant. You know, Hallie's definitely not a pimp. He's
Daddy,
a
I want to
beautiful
get some seeds.
partner, companion,
some seeds.
yeah, a real honor of the sacred feminine and lover of the plant, medicine, and seeds. So,
Garden for the family.
yeah.
I'm getting some seeds.
Beautiful. Yeah, let me give you some envelopes to put the seeds in, okay? Because I want to keep it on.
Growing where we can gather, celebrate, feast. Formal garden, endless garden of our lives.
And then with seeds.
Nova picked out canna lily and quinoa and kissed me over the garden gate for her free seeds of the day. From our pot of gold, as we're referring to it, the most priceless pot of gold that can be shared on St. Patrick's Day. It's definitely not gold. You can't eat gold, but you can eat gold that grows in a garden.
Seeds. Can't eat your seed crop. You can.
Well, luckily,
Eat all of it.
Did you put these? Is that these?
there you go. You got one of each. 1, 2, 3.
And you know, I was going to get another one.
Well, now you know how to do it yourself, right? Go ahead and pick on another one.
Daddy, I'm going to set these here and don't get these. They're mine.
Okay.
They're my seeds. Whoa. And you know, I like these are shaped like this.
Thank you, Rio.
Getting these seeds.
All right, well, I think that's it for the day. Most of our community has exited because our farmers market ends at 4 and it's 4:30 now. So thank you, everybody who joined us. But there will be more of these to come. It was suggested by a dear sister Patricia from Raintrough Farms that maybe events like this get held more regularly at the farmers market. So maybe the upcoming Aries workshop will also be a community event. All right. She chose some of the Hawaiian chili pepper. Catnip.
Wait, is catnip a flower?
It makes a flower. It's in the mint family and mullein. Here you go, Nova. You can go ahead and put those in envelopes. Thank you. Okay. Aloha, y'all.
Put this one in that one.
And the broadcast.